Did well going forwards in the attack for UCF.
UCF, one of the best scoring offenses in the country. The American Conference Final in 2017 comes down to the 1 and the 2 seeds. The Knights and the Bulls, UCF, USF, and we're underway in Orlando. Haley Outen at Stubbington, Mike Watts alongside. With teams on lengthy unbeaten streaks, it's 8 for USF, it's 15 for UCF. 83 degrees and sunny. There may be an occasional shower that makes its way through in Orlando today. Amarov continuing on. Sore found the right-hand wing. Adamek, early corner for UCF, a good start, just as they did in their last game, a 3-0 win over the 4th seed Memphis.
Well, the Knights want to impose their will on this game early. If they can do that, put the USF Bulls on the back foot, it'll be all the better for UCF. Adamek getting deep into the attacking third, just as she did on Friday against the Tigers.
Sore 3 assists this year after a all-conference, all-rookie season last year. Bit unlucky here. Burrows had her heels clipped.
Adamek there on the foul, going to ground as she was trying to get back to play defense for the Knights. Got the best service on the corner kick, a little bit too deep. Callahan couldn't get a clean header on the ball.
By Pelletier La Roche. Parr. Parr off of Orshman. First UCF Rookie of the Year since Lena Peterman. Denise Schulte-Brown, 11th year as the head coach for USF. 5 straight years of 10-plus wins. Bulls truly are a power in the AAC and beyond. Through ball is well struck. Handled by Vera Varas. Allowed just 1 goal in conference play this year.
Very good goalkeeper. Reads the game really well and very good with her feet. Complemented by the opposing coach, Schulte-Brown, probably the best goalkeeper with her feet in the conference.
Foul conceded, chance for Bulls to get forward. Referee for this championship game is Mark Ollerton. Eyes on 22 in the area for USF, Hamrick. Service lined in and just wide of the post. It was Kylie Burrows who was in the area. She hasn't scored all year, but taps that. It could have found its way into the net.
Brilliant service-driven, curling ball, difficult to deal with. Allows the attackers to run onto the ball. The goalkeeper can't claim it. Burrows inches away from turning that one on frame.
To Ferreira, who's had a 13-goal season. UCF. UCF led by Tiffany Roberts-Sahadak, unanimous Coach of the Year, at her 3rd time being honored with the award in her 5 years at the helm. Callahan, the heartbeat of this group in midfield.
A lovely turn from Callahan, just carousing that ball to the turf and turning as she does so.
VN, the player running down the middle, and the target here. Eamon handles it well. Hochstadter turning it left. It's in by Varison. Why not? If you're this good with your feet, you don't want a goal kick.
Allows the Bulls to set things up defensively if you slow things down for the goal kick. Took a little bit longer on the distribution than perhaps she would have liked, though. So in the end, the University of South Florida were able to get back defensively anyway. She is a very talented keeper with her feet, with the distribution.
Orshman there intercepts. Sore ceding to Callahan. Callahan making a run down the middle of the field. Defended by Hamrick. Through ball on the right-hand side. Chance for UCF. Defended toward the net and ultimately launched out of play.
A wonderful combination play to spring Adamek there. I don't think Orshman realized that a member of her forward crew, Adamek, was going to get on the end of that ball. Didn't react to the pass until it was too late. And USF were able to clear the lines.
Yen trying to break the other way. Third conference final in the American tournament. USF. Hawk's daughter. It's a catch on the pop fly with Burrows again making her way toward the net.
Hitting Hope into the box there. Harris could have waited for the fair catch. It was in the air so long.
The goalkeepers are protected. Sometimes it does feel like fair catch is on, doesn't it?
Well, the forwards would argue that.
This will run all the way over the byline. Chance for UCF to take over again. 9 shutouts this year. The last loss came in the opener against South Carolina. Then they beat North Carolina. Numbers for us this year are out of this world. Fredrickson. Orshman into the attack. Service across to the back post out of the reach. Adamek. Now to the third member of our crew. Haley Outen is down on the touchline.
Well, Mike and Matt, I had a chance to catch up with both head coaches before today's game. First from USF, head coach Denise Schulte-Brown said any nerves, any excitement should have been left on this field last week. And if there are any of those left over today, just her team needs to channel those in the right way. If you don't, you can end up being pretty fatigued here about 10 minutes into the game. And on the other side, UCF head coach Tiffany Roberts-Sahedek says her group just has a different mentality today. Last week, they were playing not to concede. They knew they just had to get a tie to get that regular season championship and that host spot. So today, it's just getting back to who they are and building out of the back what's been working so well for them all season long.
Thank you, Haley, and USF into the attack. Vienne. Oh, that's an excellent cut ball through. Callahan slid in. Ultimately, the flag goes up for offside.
Rosa just straight into the offside position as Vienne had cut that ball back across the grain. Beautifully done by Vienne. Great vision from the forward of USF.
For UCF, it's an interesting case that they played a week ago and a trophy was on the line and it was senior day. And chat this week with Tiffany Roberts-Sahedek. The emotions may even be less today because they've already had that experience. It's not senior day today either, which always ratchets things up.
Such a difficult game is the senior day is so difficult because you don't want to put out a bad performance for your seniors. You want to send them off on the winning note. And the emotions were high, and also you're all playing for the tie, so to speak, because you don't want to lose the match, lose the regular season championship. So it was a different mindset, as Haley pointed out, and today is a little bit easier. UCF can just take the chains off and try and go for the win. They have to go for the win to try and win that tournament title.
Roberts-Sahedek Telling us a bit about that shot is on and handled by Elliott. Her first real opportunity to touch the ball in net. Orchman scored the game-tying goal against USF in that previous meeting. There to hold on.
Well read by the goalkeeper. Just retreated to a goal line just enough, anticipating the bounce of the ball, getting her body behind it, making the save very easy.
Dennis hampered for a moment by Ferreira. It's Callahan again. Another through ball finds Orchman. Sliding challenge, kept it away, only for a moment though. Orchman driving in, shooting, and deflected out by Dennis. Great defensive play by the freshman from Sunrise.
Brilliantly to get across the box and deflect this one out. Orchman just staying with the ball, never quitting, so tenacious. Maybe could have pulled the trigger a little bit quicker. But there was Dennis, fantastically well to get across and block that one out for the corner.
Dennis wasn't a center back, and that's part of why Schulte Brown was so impressed with how well she's played this year. Corner for UCF. Stick down and eventually lifted out of the penalty area. Here comes the most dangerous player on the field. Vienne goes down in a heap. A little extra push after the play. Nemiroff glided with her. It's a free kick to UCF.
Schulte Brown feels a little hard done by there. She thought there was a foul on Vienne. The referee indicated the ball was won cleanly, and then Hawk's daughter gets whistled for the foul right at the beginning of the defensive third for USF.
Maura Amen to take this. Really her coming out season on the bench the last couple of years. Only played in 218 minutes last season, but leads the way this year, just crossing the 1,500-minute mark a couple minutes ago of the season. Service from Amen, back post, bounces unimpeded over the byline.
Well defended there by Burrows. Just didn't allow Callahan a clear handle on the ball, or a run to the ball, I should say. Impressed me about Vienne on the previous play, Mike, was how she looked around herself as the ball was coming to her, realized that there wasn't anybody in support that she could pass the ball to cleanly, just put her head down and went with it. It was well defended in the end by UCF, but good vision from Vienne, realizing that she was on her own, could just put her head down and muscle her way into the attacking half for USF.
Taken by Parr. Oh, there was a foul from Plaxa. Inland native pulling over USF defender.
It's going to be a physical matchup. There were 15 fouls apiece in the previous game 10 days ago. USF is certainly a very strong physical team, not shy about contact.
Is that a lot? 15 fouls apiece.
It makes it difficult to play in too, because all of those free kicks spoil the continuity of the match a little bit. Have to get into the flow of the game as a player.
The conversation we had with the coaches, they know the last match wasn't easy on the eyes, as strike from distance takes a deflection and will hop out. McGrath has 4 goals in 5 games, or rather 4 over 5 goals, I should say, in American Conference play. And that shot deflected, but they know it wasn't easy on the eyes, but they were trying to take away their opponent's most valued weapons, and they did that. And so the game plan really wasn't for it to be a pretty game.
I don't think the coaches care. The players don't care if it's easy on the eyes. They just want to win the trophy at the end of the day.
Hawksdaughter will place it. Sabrina Wagner, maybe the fittest freshman Denise Schulte Brown has ever coached. In this case, left her service a bit short. Harris has it.
But her head coach acknowledged, well done, Vera coming out to get that, well read by the goalkeeper, anticipating the bounce.
Slid away from Pelletier La Roche. Orshman, who's had a really strong start to this affair on the left-hand wing, but a dangerous back pass. Evelyn Vienne able to get this away. McGrath is through. McGrath, it's saved. Forrest knocking it away. Major stop by the junior goalkeeper.
Spectacular play on both ends of this attack. Look at this touch here by Vienne, backheeled off of the turf. Fantastic. McGrath getting into the box. And a strong left hand from Veris to put it out for the corner kick.
What a play by Vienne. What a special player she is. A handful for Coach Roberts' Sahedak's team. In a championship final, you always need one of those big plays to go your way. Mars has done that. Hawksdaughter, the back post, and it is headed wide.
There was nothing accidental about that touch from Vienne.
No.
Strength of the player, the anticipation, skill to execute.
Look at how far up USF is playing. That was part of the game plan last time these teams met 10 days ago. And it was part of what UCF was trying to get better at in their opening round game against Memphis, playing through that pressure, because that is how their team is constructed to play.
They were able to do that Friday night. Again, Memphis had to drop off, and because they didn't have the depth of athletes to stay with UCF.
And it was 2-0 after 8 minutes.
And that makes a big difference too. The other thing is USF, it's one thing to go with that game plan, but to execute it and have the confidence to make it predictable as far as where the outlet passes are going to happen. It's very difficult to do. Foul on the far sideline there against UCF.
That's Wagner, who's out of Newport Richey in Florida. And Mitchell High School. Two teams in the top 25 in RPI. Two of 6 teams in this conference in the top 70 in totality. Really strong year from the American women's soccer side. Comes down to these two in the conference final. Scoreless just over a quarter hour in. And USF on an 8-match unbeaten streak. UCF, who have not lost since the 18th of August.
A lovely defensive header there from Sosa off of the free kick. Sosa and Amin that are able to play so well in the center-back position that allows UCF that passing offense, which is what the USF Bulls are trying to disrupt, playing high up the pitch.
Well, it helps that Souza, who's on the ball now, has dominated as much as she has. Wasn't a guarantee. She didn't start the opener against South Carolina, that one loss for UCF. She just looked a little lost in that last preseason match, and all of a sudden 33 in gold is coming off the bench. There's red card 15 minutes in, and maybe the most fateful red card of the year for any team, because it totally changed how UCF played, and they have not looked back since. It's Orshman again. It's a bit out of her reach. Ernie shures it out.
Bridget Callahan actually started that first game at the center-back position. Sosa in the midfield as well, because Tiffany said Robert Sahadak wasn't happy with what she saw from number 33. She said Callahan got sent off in that South Carolina match. Sosa had to be put back into the center-back position, and then all of a sudden just blossomed in that game as a center-back, and UCF haven't looked back.
Rosa coming over from Monroe Community College, where she won a junior college national championship. Let's head downstairs. Haley Outen, the war on I-4 continues, doesn't it?
It does, and as you can see, the War on I-4 trophy stands here right beside me. It's a little bit big, a little tough for me to pick up, but this is the second year of this rivalry series. UCF won it the first year. This year it's knotted at 9. Now, when these two teams played last week, each team can basically earn 6 points. That goes towards their institution each season. So with the draw last week, each team picked up 3 points for their institution. Here in the postseason, though, this trophy, guys, you can't earn any points towards the trophy here in the championship game. However, you can earn this trophy here. UCF has won it back in 2013. USF 2 trips previously to the championship game, and no such luck bringing this one home. So this is the trophy on the line today.
Yeah, they'll have to settle, Haley. How do you get that thing on the bus? Look at that enormous trophy. My goodness.
One of those that you put on the front of the bus and take it home. For these two teams, the smaller, more golden trophy is the one that's on the line today. And as far as these two soccer teams are concerned, that's the important one.
USF wanted 2 teams to get a draw against UCF in the regular season. Losses for the Knights. Wagner pushing still. And it's a corner for the Bulls, who themselves only have 1 conference loss. Feel like they're peaking at the right time.
The teams in the semi-final of this tournament were peaking at the right time. Long win streaks. Did really well at the close of the end of the regular season to earn their places in the tournament.
Corner to the Bulls. In swinging ball. Got over Souza. Not a great clearance. Shot is over from Pelletier La Roche. But did take a deflection on the way.
Allerton indicating a corner kick. A deep cross on the corner kick. Not the best clearance at the back post. Don't want to try and play that back across your goal. Storter gets another shot.
Rockstarter. Souza this time. More head clearance. Service from Parr. Mark Allerton now gesturing for a push.
UCF looked like they were struggling to find all of the green shirts to mark as that ball was coming back in from Parr. And there's the little collision there between McGrath and the UCF defender.
Hochstadter. A little bit of drizzle coming down. Not many fans are making their move for cover. USF more opportunities on set pieces to this point. And the best clear breakaway opportunity of the match belongs to them as well through McGrath.
The speed of Burrows there. That's why she's in the starting lineup tonight. Little changes. Ace up top for the Bulls. Going to stretch the back line of UCF.
Bien never did stop coming. Souza to meet that. Hochstadter didn't latch on. It's Callahan. And a foul as she was tackled in her attempt to slip it through.
Couple of missed plays there. This one at the end from McGrath, fouling Callahan as UCF midfielder was trying to play the ball forwards. Initially, it was Callahan who had her pocket picked by McGrath. McGrath thought she had some clear possession. Immediately, the senior from the Knights came back and picked McGrath's pocket in turn.
Quaxa and Ferreira behind the ball. Ferreira, 10 of her 13 goals have come in American Conference play. She's going to work her way toward the mixer. Quaxa's going to run away too. In the end, it'll be Amon. Amon, lob over the top. It's punched away with 2 fists by Elliott. And collecting again, Fredrickson. Up the line, Orshman. Room now for service. Instead, picks out Fredrickson. Cutting it across. They've had a chance to shoot there.
Maybe a touch to the right and pull the trigger with the right egg would have served Fredrickson best. I thought the goalkeeper could have caught that ball off of the free kick. Elected to punch the ball out. Well, back to the Knights, and UCF were able to keep control in their attacking third, and a good look there from Fredrickson.
Lens cleaner.
Chance to serve, falls down for Orshman.
Jesus fuck.
Caught by Elliott. As Stephanie Sanders just entered the game, she scored the 3rd and final goal against Memphis in the semifinal on Friday night. Both teams going to their bench in some measure, couple players per side.
Sanders coming back from injury. Coach Robert Sahadak, she's still not at 100%, which is scary, as dangerous as she is. And great addition to the Knights. The plays at the same time as Ferreira, 2 similar players. As the opposition back line, you think you get a little bit of a rest and respite because Ferreira's off the pitch, but that's not the case at all, because along comes Sanders and she's equally as dangerous.
Orshman almost stripped that. American Conference Final, USF and UCF from Orlando, Florida. Teams there in first round buys by virtue of NCAA tournament caliber seasons in the regular season, trying to earn an all-important trophy. Matt Stubbington, Mike Watts alongside. Haley Outen, a member of our team on the touchline. The rain is finally stopped. Drizzle that had lasted a few moments. Orshman can keep that in play. Amon head to Bridget Callahan. Unlock Orshman. Instead, Levin. Grath, hug at the back of her jersey. Will come back to that point.
Very good refereeing there from Mr. Allerton. Saw the tug of the jersey, waited for the advantage to happen. It didn't come off for USF. Calls the play back.
Mark Allerton making his rounds through the collegiate and the professional ranks as a referee. A very good one at that.
There was the tug of the shirt there.
It's Bernie all the way to Varis. 8 goals allowed this year, UCF in totality. Chloe Ngazi was splitting time early on. Tiffany Roberts-Sahadak says, we're grateful to have 2 starters. Varis has run away with it.
Connect on that pass, but essentially the difference between the 2 goalkeepers was Varis was able to just make a separation because of her good distribution with her feet. The USF coach, Brown, has acknowledged.
Uza for Mernon, and now Adamek. In the area of Sanders, who's racing through. Dennis has to get this away and doesn't. Now Dennis, an arm tackle.
Dennis with trying to give Sanders a hug there. Not allowed.
Sanders' 4 goals debuted on September 28th. Native of Germany, who's played the youth national team, U16s through the U20s. Service for UCF. Off the head of Hamrick. Colloquially, just call her Hammer. Flicked onward here by Callahan. Orshman, they're looking for a handball. Alton says there was none from Dennis, and now Dennis is fouled, trying to break away from the pack. It was a handball. It's a bit of a defense of the face one.
Well, the hand was up. I've seen those called. Although the arm was very close to the body. UCF will feel hard done by. USF and the Bulls may have escaped one there, Mike.
Freshman who's made 10 starts this year and has come on late for the U17 youth national team pool. This USF Bulls side.
Prior to that free kick that was taken, I watched Callahan talking to the freshman Sanders and just arming Sanders down. So great leadership from the senior.
Haley Outen is downstairs more on Bridget Callahan and all that she offers.
Yeah, you guys mentioned Bridget, and she hasn't talked about that much, but she plays a huge role on this field. I think you referred to her as the heartbeat. She came in as a midfielder and switched to center back as a sophomore, remained there for 2 years, started the season at center back against South Carolina before moving back up into the midfield from the UNC game on. She'll play any role you need her to. Just really a great team player.
The play was offside, and it was Callahan who made the little jump cut right in front of Haley there.
Beautiful run there by Callahan.
Not in the awards list, and you know, the conversation with Coach Robert Sahadak, not a player that people look at and say, one of our best players, but I know that she is.
And really, that's what you want from your holding midfielder. You don't want the position to be highlighted too much. And Callahan does play that position very well. As you see, he just wins the ball calmly and then finds the option, and it's what you want from that point of the triangle in the midfield.
A mission accomplished there by Callahan yet again. One of those rare players who's won Offensive Player of the Week and Defensive Player of the Week in the same season. That's Sanders. It's it on the ground. It's a slow roller. Elliott will handle 9 saves against UCF last time these teams met. The senior making start number 69 for career.
Career night for her as well. The 9 saves being a high for her in her time as a college player.
Heyman. Dennis went up with Sanders. Got the ball back down.
Coach Shelby Brown has made a tactical change, gone with more of a 4-player midfield in a diamond formation. Kitchen came onto the pitch as a substitute, and I believe the change has been made. I'll keep an eye on that and make sure that I am correct.
Part of what made the SMU game so difficult is that Mustangs came out of halftime and switched from a 4-3-3 to a 4-4-2 diamond. At times it did work. USF felt like the fact that they are so comfortable changing formations helped them deal with a change of formation against them.
Certainly they have the intelligence on the pitch to be able to shift gears and switch those formations.
McGrath at the end. It's off to the races. Souza, a nice run forward for Sanders. Dennis stuck her foot in, and the clearance continues through Pelletier La Roche. Souza overcooked that. And a goal kick on the way for the Bulls, and a couple changes coming the Knights. Christine Crichton, who comes on. And the Bows as well. Both natives of the state of Florida.
Interesting to see where the Bulls get their natural width from now if they are playing those 4 players in a diamond formation more centrally. The outside backs will become more key as the game progresses. They'll have to get forwards to offer the width. You have the 2 forwards, McGrath and Vienne. They'll try and be busy and disrupt things along the back line of the Knights.
And no trouble for Bernie and the Bull defense. Nothing who can play any role in the back line. Looking over at the right back position. Latier La Roche. Oh, Vienne. Pitching. Stoddard is caught up. Numbers forward now for USF. Intercepting Callahan the other way for UCF.
That's where USF were missing the width. Those outside backs have to try and join the attack, stretch out the back line, open up a passing lane through the back 4 of UCF.
Graf going one-on-one. Pitching back from McGrath. Just out of the reach of the player referred to as Firewoman on this team. And it puts out fires all over the field for this Bulls squad. Ferlin will come on.
Leathen there with the outside right back at the moment for USF. Had drifted forwards into the attacking third. And that pulled the back line of the Knights open a little bit and allowed the pass through from Kitchen. Mike just overcooked over the byline for the goal kick.
All and Ferlin have come on. Long distance try, deflects, it's off the crossbar with a save. Follow-up is over. Hawksdaughter went for it all. Almost had it too. Great save by Varis.
Would have been troubling the goalkeeper anyway. It was a good, accurate shot, deflected off the defender. Varis with the adjustment, a fantastic save onto the crossbar. Vienne, how she didn't put that one on the back of the net off of the header.
The second goalkeeper of the year in UCF history in the AAC. A major award sweep. The Knights here where both team and personal accolade pretty constant.
Excuse me, I said it was Vienne that missed the opportunity. I think it might have been Ferlin who just stepped into the game. Cold coming off the bench. That's likely why the header went over the crossbar.
It's Hall, and it's caught by Varis. Down to the touchline. Lee Altman with more.
Well, you see USF really putting the pressure on this UCF defense, and this is a team that came into this game really confident, even though they're a young group. Coach Schulte Brown said, you know, they're just really aware, they're familiar, they face UCF all the time, and with the seniors that UCF has on their roster, they're used to going up against this opponent. So a lot of confidence heading into today and really attacking it head on.
Thank you, Haley. And part of the discussion with the coaches this week is we saw them 10 days ago. We didn't need to watch that much film. Really get everybody up to speed. No one really forgets these I-4 meetings, do they?
Certainly don't. Touched on it in the opening, the rivalry between these two teams, between the two schools.
This is what college soccer is about. Chance for Sanders, who's still coming. It's kicked out smartly by Elliott. Can't take any risk having left her penalty area. Started every game the last 3 years in goal for USF. Group that's no stranger, the NCAA tournament. Her time as a starter. Dennis Off of Callahan. Spun just the inside of the corner flag.
For a moment there, it didn't look like the ball was going to go out.
Cue the race to the flag.
It would have been an interesting one.
Let's hear La Roche. All handled by Fredrickson. Now Murnin.
At times the UCF Knights, go backwards with the ball where I feel like they could go more sideways, progress the play up the pitch a little bit more, trusting the goalkeeper's ability with her feet. Have to be careful with those passes back to Veres. There are very clever USF players that might run in and pick the pocket if they're not careful.
There are days where Vera Vares leads the team in passes, which isn't quite how it was drawn up. Better than the alternative, typically. Fredrickson. That's too far wide.
Right idea, though, with switching of the point of attack by the Knights.
Sun shining on the American Conference Championship Final in Orlando. Teams that went to double overtime finished with a 1-1 draw, establishing UCF as the #1 seed, host for the conference tournament, regular season champions. USF only 2 teams get them to a draw in 9 regular season American Conference games. USF team that's very young, playing very well late in the season despite that youth and maybe a bit of inexperience. A group very proud of the personalities on their roster gelling together, coming together as a group, as opposed to the oft-touted senior leadership that many teams point to in their success. Sanders won the ball. Callahan plays it forward. Runs away from DeBose. Senior in her own right.
A little bit of backspin on that ball from Callahan to check up, give DeBose an opportunity to run it down. As it is, though, it's a great opportunity for UCF to lock on and keep the balls in their defensive third.
McGrath has put in good 42 minutes. Nisa Ibrahim, who's come on and gets an immediate touch.
McGrath certainly has put in a good stint in this first half.
Ibrahim wafting it over her shoulder. All was the target. There's an element of knowing that this could very easily find its way to 110 minutes again. Callahan. Alongside Sanders. Rickson of Sweden. Kind of an eclectic set of rosters for both teams. Great catch there beside Haley out in there. Not that Haley wouldn't have headed that away herself, I'm sure. Lobbed upfield by the Icelandic player Hawksdottir. Already got some experience with the senior national team in Iceland. Ibrahim able to win the ball. All on the run out. That's Furlan running down the middle. By Murnin in the final minute of the opening half.
Off the right fullback for the Knights, just a little bit too anxious at the moment to close out this first half, making some choices defensively. She'd be better served just to hold her position. Close down from too far out. She's not able to be effective.
Bouncing to Vares.
They're down on the far sideline. Referee indicating for the athletic training staff to come in.
Clock stopping at 29 seconds.
Yeah, injured player.
Right before halftime. Well, we shouldn't have expected anything different when these teams meet. It was going to be very tight. A couple good chances for either side, and I think you can make the argument that USF had more good scoring chances in this first half.
They certainly have. They definitely had the best scoring opportunity. It's off the score sheet. A brilliant save in the first half by Veris.
Hall is the player down onto her feet on her own. Souza going in there unintentional, but not a good feeling.
Big collision there, head to head. Rightly, the referee stopping play so that Hall could be attended to. Amazing that Souza isn't none the worse for wear. Big collision between those two players. Mitted to the ball.
Souza is fine. Hall, the native of Edmonton, walk off to the bench. 29 seconds to go. The opening 45. Bose came away with the ball, and we'll go into the locker room level 0-0.
Highly competitive first 45 minutes, which is what we had.
Is that an elf on the shelf? Is it a little early for that? What? I'm not sure.
No, it wasn't an elf on the shelf, but what it was, I'm not entirely positive.
He brandishes a sword, too, so not a knight that you want to play with. Here we go, second half of the American Conference Championship. Haley Outen on the touchline, Matt Stubbington alongside Mike Watts. USF and UCF, a champion will be crowned in the American. Whether it takes 45 minutes or a little bit longer than that. Takeaways from that first half, if you're UCF, the possession style that you were looking to play wasn't always there.
A lot of the possession was off of the dribble. We saw Callahan a number of times tiptoeing through the tulips and then trying to find a pass that wasn't available because USF have done a good job of taking away the options. More towards what UCF tried to do is pass and move, and the Bulls did a good job in the first 45 minutes of negating that part of what the Knights try.
McGrath rushing over. That belongs to USF. Big collision. Play will continue. Play still continues on.
About the physical nature of the game and the 12 fouls that were called in the first half by Mr. Allerton, but in the physical play without blowing his whistle so far in the early part of this second.
Souza by 1. And it's a throw for the Knights. Jessica Hamrick, a team leader, mainstay on this team. Souza gliding.
Number 22 is known as the Hammer. She came in to try and hammer Sosa there, but the Brazilian was doing well to ride the challenge and win the throw-in for the Knights.
Callahan was fouled. You mentioned the Brazilian. That's sort of the interesting thing. These coaches followed each other at Virginia Commonwealth and the CAA at the time, and eventually to the Atlantic 10, and both kind of making the trek down here, but very similar recruiting patterns. European, Canadian, that's sort of what made VCU a power, and it's made both of these programs power programs in the women's game over the last decade as well.
Well, if you're able to identify those players in the international game, and you sometimes have an advantage trying to get those players that other coaches in this country wouldn't be able to get.
Yeah, you say
it's have the resources, or
it's sunny and 85 today. Is that so tough?
And aside from the climate, I mean, you have two schools with great resources and also have good coaching staffs and good history of both these teams as well. The advantage is that you're not going up against dozens of other college coaches at the Disney tournament in Orlando competing for the same players. You're going after one or two players in a foreign country that will jump at the chance to play in this country, and why not come to Florida?
All on the turn for the Bulls. Tag from Adamek. Emeroff moved into a starting role with Kerry Lawrence unavailable. Lawrence had started every game this year coming in. Ball gets out, and with Nemiroff in and Lawrence out, more on the injury with Haley Outen.
Yeah, you mentioned Kerry Lawrence, and when I chatted with Coach, she said, you know what, she's not dressing today, but it's better news than I think we had expected after seeing Friday night's game and her going down. It's an ankle sprain, so not dressing today, but expected to be back as the Knights make a run in the postseason.
And the Knights are looking at a pretty high seed for the postseason, too, the way the bracket looks right now, win or lose.
Very happy to hear that Lawrence's injury isn't as bad as it did appear on Friday. It was in obvious pain. She went down with the ankle sprain.
Native of Orlando had a season-ending injury after 15 games last year. Chance now for the Bulls to get forward. Service across is corralled by Varis, who's been the busier goalkeeper to this point.
Nicely done at the near post by Varis. McGrath was coming late. Shimmy and a shake on VN. She doesn't need a lot of space to either shoot the ball or pass it. Maybe even half a step there that she gained herself.
That's a good look forward here for the Bulls. McGrath again the target. As far as Quaxa. Hamrick over the back line. Ball won't get there in time. More of a starter last year, has come off the bench. Vast majority of this season has taken it away from Souza. Leveling it off. Vian getting a shot off somehow, and easy for Varis in the end.
Plays so well with her back to goal, just knows where posts are, and again, not needing a lot of space to pull the trigger. Well read by Varis, the goalkeeper. You see the shift of the keeper, anticipating where the shot would be, because she's reading the pressure that her defense is putting on. Always reacting to the shooter as the goalkeeper. You're looking at the pressure, playing the angles. Always talk about the geometry of the position, and Varis did a great job there.
Shot deflected from Vian. Varis had 4 saves in the opening half. With a couple to a resume in the second.
Shirley Brown has maintained the 4-player midfield, with McGrath playing the attacking role, somewhat as a withdrawn forward, so to speak. He's shooting through late from that midfield position. Be important for UCF to track as this game goes on. At the moment she's being marked by Callahan.
Good conference final, the American for USF. 1-0 win over the number 6 seed SMU to reach this point after sitting out the opening round with their number 2 finish. Felt like it could have been more, an insurance goal that never came, and with only 40 or less than 48 hours to try and recover. no easy feat. Championship Sunday to play late into a match. Now neither team really backing off very much. Nemiroff will step forward and throw in. Ferreira, who's been quiet so far, whistled away from the ball. Oh, this is really well done by Vienne. Through ball from McGrath didn't take.
She's got some stickum on those boots. Even when she goes to ground, she's able to keep control of the ball and then find a pass. On the best opportunity that USF had in the first half, going to ground with a back heel, she found her teammate McGrath, opening up the chance for that 1v1 that was brilliantly saved by Varys.
Vienne grew up half an hour west of Montreal, French her first language. Visited in March, and quickly the conversation between her and her mom, it's March, it's either snow or be in Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay works out.
It's back to that recruiting conversation that you and I were having about the weather again.
USF controlling, Haley Outen more on Vienne, and well, an award suite.
Well, Evelyn Vienne, a first-team all-conference selection, 11 goals on the season. Obviously a very important player on this USF roster, but overall only 4 Bulls gaining postseason accolades after finishing in second place, just 1 point behind UCF. And when I asked Coach Schulte Brown, why is that? She said, I think it actually speaks multitudes that coaches didn't exactly know who to vote for this year. She has such a solid roster all the way around, maybe not filled with quite as many stars as on the UCF side, but just a really solid team. So therefore not maybe translating into those postseason awards voted on by the head coaches.
And it's Callahan breaking through. Callahan shot way off frame in the end. One of those players who did not get an award for UCF. But in total, Souza the co-defender of the year, Adamek the midfielder of the year, Orschmann the German a rookie of the year nod, and Ferreira offensive player of the year. And for USF, it's one of those things where usually the individual accolades come along with the team accolades. For a team that finished second, didn't get that many individual accolades either, and I'm not really sure that they care if they come away with the trophy this afternoon.
That's all about the results for both squads, but especially the Bulls this afternoon. They want to find a way to lift the hardware at the end of the day.
Hamrick out of reach for South Florida. And part of what makes this group special, chat that we had with Coach Schulte Brown, they enjoy each other. They don't want to go home. It's a group that doesn't want this ride to end yet. The way they're playing, it doesn't look like it will. Playing really well here at the end of the year with 8 unbeaten and a great run in conference play. But they'd like to hoist a trophy too along the way. Adamek was rushing through. Kept alive by Nemiroff. USF carrying ahead. Bit of a convenient spin on that from McGrath.
Nemiroff continuing her aggressive play, starting to make some better decisions here in the second half. Criticized her at the beginning, or the end, sorry, of the first. She was caught in no man's land a couple of times, but so far in the second 45 minutes, she's playing better.
Chance here for the Knights. The ball was aimed for Ferreira. A goal from the single season top 10 in Knights history. Foul conceded. And it's Hawksdaughter who takes over. Ferreira knocking it back, and now the return ball. Ferreira went down at the edge of the penalty area, was indeed outside, and it's a great set-piece opportunity now for the Knights of UCF.
Oceanpah just looking to the sky in frustration as she knew that She had committed the foul. Ferreira there, looking up to see where her teammate Adamek was for the cross. Unfortunate tangle of boots. Nonetheless, it is a great opportunity for UCF.
Well, the question is what you do with it from here. Soray and Ferreira are standing on either side of the ball. Certainly you could shoot from here. The step over. Well, the ball lined in. Ricochets into the penalty area and gets cleared.
It was good service in there. I think it was Hammer that cleared that ball out. She did really well. It's through traffic, dropping at her feet.
Lobbed up by Nemiroff again. And launched out by Ocean Parr. All for McGrath in the center circle. The pressure continues for UCF as USF wasn't able to carry it all the way out. Dennis. Parr. Circling away from Orshman. Dennis has company. Dennis got that away. Well handled by newly minted center back in freshman season. Now a chance for Wagner and USF to get out. The legs of Waxa. In the end, foul goes against Wagner.
Good communication there from Wagner. She called to Dennis and let her know that pressure was coming from Adamek. Received the pass, gets up the near sideline. Kuskus did really well to win the free kick. She was a little bit fortunate not to get a foul called on herself as she went in on the challenge a little bit clumsily against Wagner.
Adamek did get there. That's a goal kick in the end. Not the fastest, we were told, but sure looked like it last time out. Adamek against Memphis. As Ibrahim will check back in. To a certain extent, with half an hour to go, you sort of have to use these subs the right way, considering this may go longer than 90.
You have that playing in your mind and trying to get players the rest that they need, but you also want to win the trophy, and it's hard to balance those things as a coach.
Callahan. Oh, it's intercepted. Burrows. Burrows cutting back, keeping it still. And now cleared by the Knights. Burrows making a lengthy run there.
Mistake by Callahan. Burrows pouncing on it, head of steam. The back line did a good job. Look at Sosa there, just hitting goal side, did just enough to put the pressure on, and then the cover, and then the balance worked.
Throw coming for USF. Knotted away by this UCF defense. More about it with Haley Outen downstairs.
Yeah, so the Knights are on this 15-game unbeaten streak, and during that stretch, they have not allowed more than one goal. And a lot of that is because they're really great 1v1 defenders. They're willing to take chances, and that's because they trust the players around them. All the way from the back four to Vera Varas in the back, they know that if they go, there's somebody there to back them up behind them.
Thank you, Haley. Still trying to keep this USF team off the board. And McGrath concede the goal kick for her effort. 5 goals for McGrath. Obviously the leading scorer with 11. Evelyn Vienne, reigning rookie of the year until it was taken away by Orshman. Her rookie season announced during this conference tournament week. It's rather a free kick. And as for Bernie, Hamrick, Wagner, Madison Murnan will come on. Jacksonville, Freshman who started the first two and subbed ever since. Goals at LSU. Game-winning goal against Arizona this year as well.
Mernon came in the first half. She and Callahan switched positions. An eye on that to see whether Callahan vacates her defensive holding role and progresses further up the pitch and a more aggressive attacking role. Aggression.
Well, we haven't seen one of these yet. Yellow card to Ibrahim.
Ibrahim clumsy on the challenge, aggressive on the challenge. Brienne's going to have to be careful talking to the referee. She might get herself talked into the book as well.
Ibrahim, who had some turnovers and lost confidence issues. Really good early at Pat where she was over touching the ball and playing some of her best soccer now. In this case, the challenge near the halfway line.
Frustration there from Callahan as she went down under the challenge.
Free kick coming for UCF. More on the officiating on the touchline.
Yeah, guys, USF coaching staff not too happy. They think Anissa Ibrahim was maybe confused for Ocean Parr. She just got back out on the field, so confused by the yellow.
And this ball just wide on the ensuing free kick.
I think the coaching staff might have a point there.
Yes.
Because the referee, as he gave the yellow, seemed to indicate that there were a couple of other challenges made.
Yeah, Ibrahim hasn't had a lot of questionable fouls to this point.
Having said that, I've seen yellow cards given for fouls like the one that she did commit, coming from behind the player, kicking the legs out from underneath Callahan.
Oh, great first touch, and the ball through. Adamek slides through, wasn't able to keep it in play. The American Midfielder of the Year almost latching on here.
Shot from Wagner did just enough to force Adamek wide, not allowing the UCF forward the clean angle on the ball.
Adamek a bit of a starring role so far, huh, Haley?
Well, you mentioned it, midfielder of the year, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty inspired and impressed by her story. 3 ACL tears and 5 surgeries, 2 of those tears coming while in college here at UCF, but quitting was never an option for Kayla because the comeback has always been worth it for her. Last season, she made 16 appearances before suffering from her most recent ACL injury. This year, though, her comeback may have been the sweetest yet, as her first assist of the season came when she set up teammate Christine Creighton for the game winner against number 4 North Carolina. Many ask why Kayla is so mentally tough and how she's been able to get through such adversity. She attributes her outlook to her 7th grade coach, Mark Hearn. He had cancer 4 times and was able to beat it. So he said he believed she could go far in this sport. So if he can battle cancer 4 times, then she can come back from any surgery. She now has Mark's number 10 tattooed on her arm as a reminder that the comebacks are more memorable than the setbacks.
Wow. Adamek is down there. A yellow card's coming as Adamek was the player fouled. Wagner into the book. Some kind of player, some kind of year for Adamek.
Some kind of skill and tenacity too on the challenge. Clever foul from Wagner to slow things down by rightly going into the book.
Relentless. Now worker. Twice. This team has seen a player get into double digits in goal scoring this year. Adamek is one of them. Rare the other. You've done that 3 of the last 4 years. Free kick. Raymond.
Was actually the only member of this year's UCF team that was on the 2013 squad that won the regular season and conference tournament as well. So a chance to grab her 2nd ring here today in her redshirt senior season.
In a little while with this group. Talk about top 10 team in the country, but there's a trophy we saw Haley with earlier in this broadcast that I think they'd really like to keep nearby. Vian. USF has other ideas. Special team, one that's extraordinarily young. 3 seniors in their starting order today. The rest, a combination of underclassmen, which in some ways mean USF is going to be really good for the next few years. Doesn't mean that they've conceded this year yet. These two coaches followed one another. VCU previously, we mentioned that already, and made their way south. But great respect between these coaches, and they met 10 days ago on the field before the game, and they looked at each other. They were congratulating each other on the season and said, who knew? Who knew that we would end up in this position like this?
They've grown their programs. Storied history here at UCF. USF is doing a great job as well building their program. They have great support from their fans in Tampa. Both Coach Shilty Brown and Coach Robert Sahadak, since they've come on board, have done a great job.
And like Wrigleyville, sometimes you lean over the railing somewhere else and you don't pay for the ticket and a little extra tailgate. The atmosphere here at UCF. Talk about those good fans in Tampa. They support the Rowdies, their USL team, over at Alliance Stadium. They support this women's program quite well. And in Orlando, what can you say about the pride in Orlando City? They're going to be hosting the Women's College Cup this year at Orlando City Stadium, one of the gems of Major League Soccer and North American soccer stadia. Chance to get through here. Vian! Just spun away from the post at the vital second.
Furious that she didn't get the corner kick. The strength, we've talked about it ad nauseum this game. Maybe the faintest of touches from Varis. Great head of steam up there from Vian. The strength to shield off. Amen.
Amen sort of broke her fall with her hands, and the ball did go near it. And I wonder if that's what Vian was looking for. It's going to start biting some nails. 69th minute of play. Still scoreless. And what's a rivalry that extends well beyond the American Conference and its final. Dennis will get a free kick.
Sanders will get a word in her ear from the referee to calm things down. Shilty Brown thinks it should have been a yellow card.
A second ball won by Ibrahim. Ricochets off of Burrows. A clear push in the back from Steph Sanders. That's 2 for Sanders. Well, if you're a VN today, couple shots, and you've at times made your presence felt, we knew she was going to be good. As this will skip kindly into the path of Burrows. See whether or not VN can get involved on this set piece.
On Friday, she had her pocket picked by the central defender, Heron, and was furious with herself. And not 2 minutes later, she picked Heron's pocket and put the ball in the back of the net for the game winner. When VN gets angry, be worried as the defender that's going up against her.
Ultra competitive. We were told that if they said sit on the bench and we'll win the game, she'll do it. Hawkstadter swinging towards the net. It's loose inside the 6 and cleared by Sanders. The follow-up lifted well out by Blevin.
Such a dangerous corner kick. Ending in, putting the goalkeeper under all kinds of pressure. Varis did well. Burrows was right in front of the UCF goalkeeper.
if Varus isn't there, is that curling in? It looks close.
That probably would have been in the back of the net, straight off of the corner kick.
UCF side as well as the USF side, but 17 new players on this Bulls roster this year are new. 3 of those transfers, but we talk about Vienne. She's just a sophomore, but a ton of freshmen in this group. And when I was talking to Coach, she says the challenge is now, and I mean, we all remember being a freshman. The college game is such a different thing. I mean, your body gets banged up. The season feels long in so many ways. So she feels like she's going to learn a lot about this young group here in this conference tournament and in the NCAAs as the bumps and bruises start kicking in and the bodies start breaking down. But she says it's a mentally and physically tough group, but she's going to learn a lot here today.
Matt, she told us as well that this is a group, usually you've hit the wall by now. These freshmen somehow haven't done that. UCF a chance to break through. That leads right up to Kat Elliott, one of the seniors who's been there and done that. By the way, 9 saves against UCF in the season finale. Proved to the 1-1 draw, but she did have 35 saves in one game at Braden River High School once. So let's not talk career highs without mentioning other achievement. Lob over the top. Again, Burrows sidestepping.
Save every 3 minutes, if I'm doing my math right.
Every 2 minutes, 40 seconds. I don't know if you can do the math better, Haley.
Up since 2015, and you know, we've talked a lot today about this young roster, and Kat's a senior, so as a senior, you know this is your final year putting on that Bulls uniform, so you can tend to add some pressure on yourself, some unnecessary pressure, and with so many new faces, she's trying to lead this group, but she's finally started to settle in, and she's just getting the job done at a really high level for the Bulls.
Collision in the area goes unwhistled by Mark Alton. Getting the job done, an understatement for how well Elliott has played down the stretch. 26 career shutouts.
It's your life as a defender so much easier to have the confidence in the keeper that's behind you. Allows you to play with a lot more freedom.
And they don't ask nearly as much with her with the ball at her feet as maybe UCF does of their goalkeeper, but that's not to say that she isn't equally valuable in terms of settling that back line for USF.
We've seen it several times. She is the outlet for the Bulls, and she does a great job when she has to. Made some good decisions, clearing the ball out of bounds, coming out of her box on the through balls from the Knights as well. She reads the game well.
We were told this game wouldn't lack for energy. Pitching and Chase. Bounce away from Ibrahim. CF controls. 75 minutes in, and neither team throwing up the white flag yet. Mernon, it started the other way. There's a card coming. This is an accumulation of fouls. Holton will act it out for us.
Allerton, the 3 fingers up, indicating that that was number 3. Well, fair do, she did get a warning. Highly competitive.
With that little extra.
It's that little extra at the end of the play there, turning her back into the play. It's a shame because UCF did pretty well, and Vernon had come away with the ball to start the counterattack.
Dennis. Yen keeping this alive. Throw for the Knights, who dip into their bench again. Andy Soray returns. Aubrey McGrath back onto the field. McGrath, the player that we were told coming in, not everyone uses all their God-given gifts and talents. McGrath does. She's been all over the field so far, 3 in green for USF.
The end's competitive spirit, I think, perpetuates through this ball squad. Saw her not give up on the play, and then her teammate Burrows didn't give up either, and the Bulls were able to try and lock down the Knights in their defensive third. The thing I noticed, though, was the goalkeeper Varys and some of the defenders for the Knights shielding their eyes as the sun is starting to go down behind us. Shadows starting to spread across the field. Interesting to see whether that has any effect on things as we get towards the 90 minutes.
I'm not sure if I was supposed to wish everyone a happy daylight savings yet. We didn't get to that. Bounces all the way to Varys.
Sky Forks Day as well.
What?
I thought I'd get the result. Bonfire night and fireworks in the UK today.
Yeah, I'll start celebrating that shortly after Leif Erikson Day, I think.
You'll be looking up on your internet encyclopedia website of your choice as soon as the game's over, right?
Later, I'm doing it right now. Haley, I don't think you have something to chime in on the holidays.
I do not, but I did enjoy that extra hour of sleep last night. But you see Bridget Callahan and Morgan Ferreira subbing into this game. UCF obviously trying to get something going offensively. But for Ferreira, this has been such a breakout season for her, Offensive Player of the Year. But Coach wasn't surprised by it at all. Ferreira had the talent and skill last year, but they had to kind of utilize her in a different way on the field offensively. Her true spot is that center forward position, but the Brazilian Carol Rodriguez had won the starting job at that spot last year. So Ferreira just really wasn't in her best position now that it's her role, and she is without question playing it extremely well with 13 goals on the year. They'll need one from her today, hopefully.
Carol Rodriguez is a former teammate of Kat Souza, the center back at Monroe Community College. So that's a well that UCF has dipped into a couple times with pretty good success. It's McGrath. Circling back, Fanny Pelletier-La Roche couldn't hang on. Now the breakaway is on for UCF. Orshman unimpeded and now turning right. Orshman laying it off, chance, deflects down in front from Adamek, and the shot is wide from Orshman in the end. Oh, golden opportunity for the Knights. And a great stop coming from Elliott when they needed it most.
Applause from a head coach, and why not? We've seen 2 great saves at this end of the pitch today, and that's the second of them. Bravely out was Elliott to make that stop.
Well, that's the word that was used by Coach Schulte Brown. Brave. You have to be if you're going to run out like that. This UCF crowd onto their feet now. Set piece for Soray. Rising for a header, turning shot, nothing there for Ferreira. Soray kept it in. The attack still on. Now this partisan UCF crowd on the left-hand side of the field, rising as one to try and get a good view of this. USF, another good opportunity. Your pardon, it was excellent from Varys in the end. In that first half with the 4 saves. Elliott coming along with the saves late on, being that most recent.
So you guys mentioned these fans here. They're pretty loud right now. I don't know if you noticed it over in the parking structure. There's even more of them looking down on this game. I don't know if we can get a camera over there, but I'm seeing levels 2 and 3 in this UCF flag hanging behind the goal right now. They're watching from all angles out here, guys.
There they are again. If you can't get a ticket, that's the next best thing.
They're going on to the upper deck now. Somebody on the roof of the structure on the far left-hand corner as we look at it.
Like a Wrigleyville thing? I still can't totally figure it out. It does have a championship feel, this. Two teams desperately after the go-ahead goal. And the through ball. Will Burrows get there? Not quite. Morris did well off her line. Speaking of brave.
Well read by the goalkeeper. Both ends of the pitch, the keepers have, for the most part, read those through balls very nicely this afternoon.
Emmerich tried Burrows again. Latier La Roche. Starter for Burrows. A hit too far. USF, a couple starters picking up injuries yesterday in training, a bit unlucky. Lost Grace Adams to a torn ACL, devastating injury for them. And yet, going toe-to-toe and not stepping away from their in-state rival down the stretch. A chance to try and get the lead away. Emmerich was showing for the ball. Adamick. That's a classy touch.
Done by Cheyenne Dennis there, the freshman coming across defensively. It's the free kick.
See Elliott there in the background. I can't get the help the feeling that USF of late has taken a little bit of that energy from that on a goal scrum and really carried it up the field in these last couple minutes.
Those huge moments in the game just pump up the adrenaline for you as a player, and you don't want to let your goalkeeper down when they come up with those moments of brilliance.
Rose had a nice trip. See you next fall.
From Tish.
Rockstarter reversing.
Offside flag goes up across the way. Coming back from an offside position to play the ball.
The AR's been pretty quiet.
Crew have done a good job this afternoon. Mr. Allerton has let the play continue, blown his whistle when he's needed to, and clearing what he's been doing as well. Communication from the official is so important for both players and coaches.
Ocean Parr will come on, but won't get their second sub in. Furlan. Then we'll take a seat. Parr off the bench, scuffing her clearance. Latier La Roche. Ray, sneak it behind. This is in for Elliott.
Defensive movement there from Dennis and Wagner, just closing that passing lane down, not allowing UCF to find the seam in the inside right position.
Good combination play from UCF. Now the turn, moving the ball back off. And it is a foul outside the box. There's a yellow card, and that was dangerously close to being a penalty at first glance.
Fredrickson hasn't really got forward as she normally does. And there's the contact. The shove is just outside the box. Alatim was right on the money. A very close call, and I think Coach Schulte Brown was heart in mouth at that moment as the whistle went.
Well, Ferreira scored a penalty against Memphis on the right-hand side. Could strike it with her left and curl it. The 3 UCF players behind the ball. Adamek is in the midst of the wall, trying to burrow her way in.
The angle favors the shot. It's tough to get it up and down over the wall from this close, but the angle gives a little bit more distance.
Quick restart, comes back for Ferreira.
Just opportunity there, I think, Mike. Would have favored the shot directly towards the frame.
Goes ahead, Adamek. Erlin and Ibrahim.
And this continues to play so well in the center back position.
Here, La Roche picked up that yellow card just the second time she's picked up a yellow this year. UCF trying to hone in with their pressure in the latter stages, force the turnover that could turn this whole thing on its head. Final 4+ minutes for potential extra time. The golden goal, 2 10-minute periods, and potential penalties decide a champion in the American in 2017. Talk about 2 teams just deserving this kind of spotlight. This is such a great showcase for the conference and for these teams, the way this game has come together. It's been magnificent.
It's been a brilliant spectacle. The coaches said that the last meeting wasn't much of a soccer game, but this one's had the physicality, competition of a really good soccer game and some fantastic skills from both sets of players.
A little bit of dancing there from Adamek. Adamek showing off a bit of speed. Has to turn away Bernie. And gets out. It's a throw here for UCF in the attacking third. They try and come away with a late go-ahead goal. USF going deep on their bench here, Haley.
Yeah, we just saw Leah Furlan sub into this game, and associate head coach Jason Dowiak was talking to her before she went in, and he basically wants her to stay up top, play as that target forward, but be extremely active, find the ball, and distribute it to players around her.
Then throws in, nobody home. Once you get to this point, it's little tactical changes, Matt. Little substitutions here and there that could prove the difference.
Absolutely. Essentially, we're 2.5 minutes away from golden goal, but this is golden goal territory right now. This changes, just a little moment of magic, maybe a little error. Hopefully not an error. Hopefully it's a moment of magic. Will be the difference between these 2 teams this afternoon.
There she goes again. Vienna shot, and it's held. Varis. That would have been magical if she did it from 25 yards out.
Didn't quite hit it how she wanted. Credit, though, to the goalkeeper for making sure she didn't make a mistake and spill that one, because Furlan was framing the goal, trying to get in just in case there was a mistake by the goalkeeper.
In some ways now, battle of territory and field position. Final 100 seconds of regulation. Hit wrong by Ibrahim. Played in the U17 and the U20 World Cups with Canada in 2014 and 2016 respectively. Was a World Cup champion, 2-time NCAA champion. North Carolina, Tiffany Roberts-Adak, leading her team on, 5th year at UCF. Trying to win that 2nd crown in the tournament, conference double. So be a good opportunity for USF late in the game.
Coaching staff calling to the players, take your time, set it up, make sure the delivery is a good one, put the goalkeeper under pressure. Already mentioned it, Varys is looking into the sun as it sets over our position.
The Hawksdaughter. Clock ticking away. Hawksdaughter driven ball, back post, bounces down. And there was a whistle in the box, a foul. Quite nearly saved UCF. Ball was skittering towards the line.
Lovely service in, bending ball, driven. You just see the elbow flying there from McGrath, I think it was. That was the foul. That's what saved UCF.
Oh, this would be a golden goal if it comes now for UCF. Shot lined in, deflect straight back. The American Conference Championship will need overtime. The American final simply had to be in the war on I-4 is going to overtime. USF, UCF. Here we go.
So UCF won the coin toss. They're choosing to go with their backs to the sun here in this first overtime period, hoping that it won't go to a second overtime period.
Fair enough. There's no point in holding a timeout in your pocket, so to speak.
They get to switch the point of attack and try and come down the left wing near sideline, and Elliott's under some pressure with some deep cross balls, so she'll be looking directly into the sun.
Bulls can't connect on this near touchline through Kylie Burrows. Up by Orshman. Hamrick. Gets by Hamrick. Orshman driving forward, laying it off. There's a chance here for Ferreira! Over the crossbar. And it's UCF that comes out in the opening 90 seconds with the best chance of the first overtime.
Driving run from Horshman, finds Ferreira to feet. She does a great job of letting the defender run past her, leaning back as she pulled the trigger, and the arms, the hands go to the face in disappointment.
Erlin. There was no touch there, despite Erlin objects. Morris puts it back in play for UCF, who move right to left in the first overtime. Oxa. Dennis. By Amon. Burrows overlapping. Did that get off the hand? Fredrickson. In some ways it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It's still a corner.
The referee just allowed the corner to be taken. Certainly looked like it made contact with Frederick's hand, but Fredrickson's hand
Hawksdaughter has scored the penalty against the UCF in the final game of the regular season, the 1-1 draw. Take the corner. Hawksdaughter will come out. Vienne will have a go. It bounces down in the area. Couple legs rising up to meet the ball. Cleared, but out. Hawksdaughter hit it wrong.
The eyes got big for Hawksdaughter. Went for the spectacular. Would have been better off just crossing that one in with that brilliant right foot that she has. Lots of players in the box, making it difficult for the goalkeeper to see any shot coming. Just in the end, Hawksdaughter cutting underneath the ball. Standing foot nowhere near where it needed to be to put that one on target.
Fredrickson trying to elbow a little bit extra space. Orshman pushed from behind.
We just saw Fredrickson battling it out right there. She's a team captain, but she's not necessarily a name that gets called all game. But she's been doing some of the thankless work this season of being a leader, almost serving as a coach on the field. Some would even call her a mini Coach Robert Sahedek, teaching the younger players around her.
That's high praise. Eamon headed, came away from Callahan. Ball bouncing around and cleared by Burrows. Fredrickson, Callahan, Orshman running inside on the outside. Fredrickson, Orshman out to get through, and Dennis launching it to the halfway line. Orshman, great concentration. Orshman will cut now. Sanders catching up. Waxa held on the hop by Elliott.
Strong work from Horshman to get through that back line. Triple team, still found ways to come away from with the ball. Sanders tried to switch the point of attack.
100 miles apart, these two storied teams. Women's soccer tradition. State of Florida. Scoreless. It's the halfway point of the first. Golden goal overtime. CF, the chance now. Namaroff, good service. It's brought down in the area. There's contact, and you won't get that whistle in overtime. Waxa leaning back towards the net, sun in her eyes, as we've talked about.
To move her feet, get the body behind the ball. Shot coming in, never really troubled the goalkeeper's vision, wasn't high enough. So far, both keepers have played well in this game.
Figure it's Quaxa, the player who's really offensively coming alive. Not a single goal this year in her sophomore season, but did once score a hat trick for her country in youth international play in Euro qualifiers for Finland. Perhaps I shouldn't be so surprised. Anissa Ibrahim will come on. Canadian U20 silver medalist for CONCACAF championships. Ibrahim now. Away only for a moment. Now the Knights a bit more of a convincing clearance. Out into space. Adamek couldn't get a touch to it. Lobbed further. Sorry. Sanders almost got there. 100 seconds to go in the first overtime. Callahan back to their well-versed Vera Varis. The goal for USF was to make her play long balls and not allow them to possess the ball in an easier fashion. They've done that much of the day. Turning into open space, Hawksdaughter. 1 minute left in the first OT, another 10 minutes to follow if we don't have a winner here. One goal can end it all. Those in the stands, edge of their seats, those on the bench, standing in unison now. Keeping the ball still, Morris, an easy save.
USF being a little bit more aggressive with a lineup, playing 3 up top on offense, coming back more defensively. It'll be 5 in the midfield.
Get away from Brianna Blevin. Lobbed ahead for Ibrahim. Sends it forward toward McGrath. And time expires as Varis grabs hold. They'll switch sides. They'll continue. 100 minutes gone. Elsewhere it is official. UCF earlier this year did defeat the ACC champion North Carolina Tar Heels. The ACC title game is over. Duke falling. And so the crowning achievement this UCF season is very much solidified as if it hadn't been already. Kicking off Anson Dorrance's side in the opening weekend of the season. USF looking for their crowning achievement. Vian racing still. A little bit of a push from behind by Amon. Good defense. And it's held by Varis.
Amon did tremendously well to stay goal side of the speedy forward from USF. Just enough of the left shoulder from number 23 of the Knights to force the issue and allow her goalkeeper to come out and make the save.
Well done by Amon. 8 saves for Era Varis, 5 for Kat Elliott. Thought 30 fouls in the last meeting was a lot. We're at 29 now. Adamek providing pressure, following shot. Whistles out of play. Dina Orshman.
So hard at this point in the match with so much on the line not to get anxious and pull the trigger. Better decision from Orshman might have been to settle that ball. She had more time than she realized. Now to select a better shot for herself or find a teammate.
Vian pushing into the back line. All right. Ennis. Hamrick. Taken away, Adamek. Knights control. Regular season champion Knights. Control in the second overtime. All for Ferreira, hops over the top. Adamek thrown down in the area. And again, the whistle silent. Mollaton. Very easily off the ball, could have gone the other way.
Coaching staff are furious for UCF, and I think they have a case. Huge moment. Ball comes across. In replay, Mike, it looks a little bit more incidental than it did in the run of play, but certainly a case there for the penalty kick.
Orshman laid it through. Orshman couldn't get there the second time. And really what's disappointing if you're UCF, that player had overrun the ball and you're almost given a manna from heaven, as it might be in that moment.
Crowd don't like it either.
I'm not sure the crowd here in Orlando was supposed to like it, the way that worked out. It's now up to the Knights to move past that ball ahead from Murnin. Headed towards the net. The follow-up, Adamek as it ricochet off the goalkeeper, Elliott, and out. A corner. UCF really pushing now.
Goalkeeper undecided. Callahan couldn't get a clean header on the ball. In the end, Elliott was brilliant on the ensuing rebound.
Elliott earning her keep yet again. The senior, chance to hoist this trophy. High arcing cross. Header is over from Souza. And the wait continues.
How Souza was so open on this corner kick, I don't know. You would think that she would be one of the main targets for the defense of USF to mark. Having said that, she'll be bitterly disappointed she didn't put that one on frame and test the keeper.
5 saves entering this second overtime. Nearly turned over in a very concerning place. Fredrickson tossing in for UCF. Orshman knocked off the ball. The counter is on. It's Hall out in front. Leanne dispossessed.
Great decision, Nemahoff, to hold her ground, not chase into the ball. Able to hold her position and win that ball beautifully well for UCF.
Hirschman trotting away with the national team torn a couple weeks ago as to what to do, whether to go back to Germany or not. Free kick for UCF. Their first final in the American since 2013. One goal would win it. Amon. And it's caught by Elliott. 4 minutes until spot kicks.
Good service, but no industry on the runs. Somebody has to go across the face of the goalkeeper. Put Elliott under pressure.
Ferreira turning, allowing the ball to lead up to her. It's Ferreira. Kicked away by Burney.
USF completely on their heels. They haven't been able to get into their attacking half really since the opening minute of this second period.
UCF hasn't lost since August 18th. Being outshot today. 15 unbeaten for UCF. Ball crossed in. Skids all the way across. Will stay with the Knights. Neither team wants to see this go to penalties. Hammer off. Adamek. Hammer off again. Broken up. As far as Amon. Amon held up play for a bit there. Again. All the talk about tactics feel a little meaningless now. You're down to 2.5 minutes.
Right now, it's all about want to for these players. What about the fatigue factor? And that desire to take that one extra step.
Pounds away from Ferreira. Team that's top 5 in the country in goals scored. Held off the board still by Elliott and USF. Seesaw affair. Tack on for UCF. Chance to shoot. Big deflection. Hops out of play. With 100 seconds to go before penalties. It's another corner.
Allahan starts this attack by switching the ball out to Fredrickson. She finds Horschman, and the deflected shot goes out for the corner kick.
Soray, a driven ball across. It's over everybody. The shot equally skied.
Allahan at the back post, not able to put that one on target. Difficult moving away from the goal to get any purchase on the ball and keep it low.
Adamek. And Dennis. Adamek will keep this alive and serve it across. Header bounds wide, but still available for Ferreira. Cleared by the Bulls only for a moment. Final seconds of overtime. Cut back and cleared away from Orshman. And one more chance to be had here. Hammer off. Trying to overlap. Chance for USF to get numbers going the other way in the final 15 seconds. Intercepted Souza. Out of play. It's going to penalties. War on I-4. The American Conference Final will end in spot kicks.
Brilliant second period of overtime for the Knights. Kept the pressure on throughout. Good goalkeeping from Elliott. Blocking the shots. Last-ditch effort from Bernie to deflect balls out for corner kicks. Dennis, the freshman, continues.
Long enough to remember that.
It's always interesting from a goalkeeper standpoint because you are trying to pick a side and guess. And you know that Varys has studied film, has worked with a goalkeeper coach in these situations to study tendencies.
Penalties. Hochstadter and Varys in the opening round. And for USF to jump in front. Hochstadter wasn't ready yet. You could cut the tension with a knife. Hochstadter opening round. Goes to the left again and drills it by Varys. USF leads.
Smart from Hochstadter. She wasn't ready to take the penalty kick. She took her time. Goalkeeper guesses the right way, but the ball was hit with power and accuracy past her.
Souza, new to the equation this year, transferring in from the junior college national champion, Monroe Community College. Chance to level it in the opening round. Against Elliott. Scores. 1-1.
Almost the antithesis from the Hawks' daughter penalty kick. Sosa wasting no time to beat Elliott.
Elliott striding away. Nothing lost yet. VN. Go against Varys. Go-to goal scorer all this time. Goes second for USF. VN does score. Varys goes the wrong way. 2-1 Bulls.
Well done by VN. You can see her angling to put the ball to the goalkeeper's left. Varys hit on that. The last second, VN just dragged her foot across the ball, sent it to the left side of the goal.
Sanders, an ACL tear in February. She's still not 100%, but a fantastic freshman season for the German. This is where Elliott gives USF the advantage. Oh, what a goal! You couldn't have hit that any better than Sanders did. We're level after 2 rounds.
Hit with aplomb right down the middle of the goal. Sometimes it's better as a goalkeeper not to move.
Wagner was a forward, moved to defender. No stranger to this moment. Varys in net. Wagner goes low and tucks it in. 5 for 5, 3-2.
Twice the keeper's guessed the correct way. Twice she hasn't been able to get close.
Some prefer to walk quickly. Others like to milk this moment. Creighton scored the game winner against North Carolina earlier this year. Elliott went the wrong way, and Creighton an easy conversion, 3-3.
She took her time on the walk to the spot. Beautifully finished with the right foot.
Ferlin for USF. Tucked it in again. 3 goals this year, missed over a month, returned for the start of American play, and a big, big goal.
Harris continues to read the direction of these USF penalty kicks. Hasn't been able to make the save yet.
USF a chance to get on the verge. It's a save by Elliott. Herrera denied, and they can win it all now. The stop they needed from Elliott. Kelly Burney can win it all with this one spot kick for the American Conference Championship. Burney scores! USF are the champions of the American in 2017.
As a coach, you hope your goalkeeper comes up big. Elliott did so. And Burney put the icing on the cake. Dan Veris picks the right direction, but not able to get on the end of it to make the save. The celebrations start for the Bulls.
All respect between